guys, welcome back. My name is Sevim. We are going to continue studying on Builders Lab on the AWS Educate. Uh, First, if you have seen the first module, then you can continue with me. If you haven't seen, you can go back and check my previous video. And now we have finished security basics. Now we are going to learn about Amazon Cognito Primer. Let's go and start. I'm not familiar with the term, so we are going to study together. Amazon Cognito Primer. English is my second or even third language, so sorry for my accent if it comes so strong. Introduction. As you begin your journey into learning how AWS can help you with app development, and good place to start is with authenticating your users. Amazon Cognito is purpose-built to provide authentication and authorization for your web and mobile applications. This module introduces you Amazon Cognito basics and discusses some of the service benefits. You will learn how to use Amazon Cognito to secure your applications. Module objectives. Explain what Amazon Cognito is used for. Define the problem that Amazon Cognito solves. Identify the benefit of Amazon Cognito. Describe how Amazon Cognito is used to architect a solution. Identify typical use cases for Amazon Cognito. Explain additional aspects of Amazon Cognito to keep in mind. Define how Amazon Cognito is priced. Okay, let's continue. What does Amazon Cognito do? Amazon Cognito is designed for developers who want to add user management to their mobile and web applications. Okay, developers can use Amazon Cognito identity to add, sign up and sign into their applications, and to give their users the ability to securely access their application resources. With Amazon Cognito, you can authenticate users through an external identity provider, and Amazon Cognito provides temporary security credentials to access your application's backend resources in AWS or any service behind Amazon Epic Gateway. Couple of maybe 6-7 years ago, I was trying to build a website. I was able to build easy websites on Wix, but at that time I wasn't able to create a user-generated profile. So I paid quite a lot for someone to build that for me. Amazon Cognito works with external identity providers that support security assertion markup language or OpenID Connect. It also works with social identity providers such as Facebook, Twitter, and Amazon, or you can integrate your own identity provider. That's good to know. I'm happy to learn that. Amazon Cognito User Pools. Amazon Cognito User Pool, a directory for all users. You can quickly create your own directory to sign up and sign in users and to store user profiles using Amazon Cognito User Pools. User pools are for authentication, identity verification, and provide a user interface that you can customize to match your application. User pools also enable easy integration with social network identity providers such as Facebook, Google, and Amazon, and enterprise identity providers such as Microsoft Active Directory through SAML. Therefore, your application user can sign in either directly to a user pool or federate through a third-party identity provider, which we see quite often when we are signing up with a new application. The user pool manages the overhead of handling the tokens that are returned from a social network sign-in. Whether your users sign in directly or through a third party, all members of the user pool have a directory profile that you can access through a software development kit. After a successful user pool sign-in, your web or mobile application will receive user pool tokens from Amazon Cognito. User pool benefits: provide hosted sign-up and sign-in web pages for your application, give you the ability to access and manage user data, track user device, location, and IP address, and adapt to sign-in requests of different risk levels. Include a custom authentication flow for your app. Amazon Cognito User Pool Workflow. To authenticate, a user answers successive challenges until authentication either fails or user is issued tokens. With these two steps, which can be repeated to include different challenges, you can support any custom authentication flow. You can use the issued tokens to retrieve AWS credentials that allow your application to access other AWS services, or you might choose to use them to control access to your user server site resources. You can also create user pool groups to manage permissions and to represent different types of users. And authenticate and get tokens from Amazon Cognito. AWS services and backend resources. Initiate authentication, challenge, respond, Cognito tokens. This is what we receive. And then user pools and computer mobiles. Access your backend resources and AWS services. S3 Dynamo API Gateway. Okay. Amazon Cognito Identity Pools. Amazon Cognito Identity Pools access control for your resources. Whereas user pools are for authentication, identity verification, identity pools are for authorization, access control. You can use identity pools to create unique identities for users and give them access to other AWS services. With identity pools, you control access to your backend AWS resources and application programming interfaces APIs. Therefore, users of your application get only the appropriate access. You can map users to different roles and permissions and get temporary AWS credentials for accessing AWS services such as Amazon Simple Storage Service, Amazon DynamoDB, Amazon Gateway, Lambda. You can use Web Identity Federation in your mobile apps so that users can sign in using supported IDPs. For example, log in with Amazon, Facebook, or Google, and to trade an authentication token from these providers for temporary AWS security credentials. The advantage is that you can build mobile apps without writing any backend code to integrate with the IDPs. In addition, you don't need to embed long-term AWS credential into your app. Identity pool benefits give your users access to AWS resources such as S3 bucket or a Dynamo table, generate temporary AWS credentials for unauthenticated users. I was always wondering what tool can do that. Amazon Cognito Identity Pools Workflow. When you add Amazon Cognito Identity Pools to your web or mobile application, the process flows like this. First, Amazon Cognito prompts users to sign in. I hope you don't hear that backend development over there. It's so loud. First, Amazon Cognito prompts users to sign in by using the credentials of their IDP of choice. Then Amazon Cognito validates user credentials with the information it receives from the IDP. Amazon Cognito will then reply with permissions to access AWS services through the AWS security token service role. Notice that in this structure, an Amazon Cognito user pool is just another IDP, similar to Facebook, Google, and others. Supported Amazon Cognito identity pools, Amazon Cognito user pool, Facebook developer authenticate identity, sign in with IDP credentials, receive permissions through OK. What problem does Amazon Cognito solve? User pool security features and functionality. Amazon Cognito user pools provide several security features that solve problems for user authentication. These features help developers solve the problem of how to to protect their application from hackers and intrusion attacks. Amazon Cognito offers sign-up and sign-in services, including integration with many of the most popular social network sign-in. These include Facebook, Google, and Amazon. In addition to social network sign-in, Amazon Cognito also integrates with SAML identity providers from your user pool. If you choose to, you can use both social network and SAML for same application sign-in. Control APIs. You can use an Amazon Cognito user pool to control who can access to your API in API Gateway. API Gateway validates the tokens from a successful user pool authentication and uses them to grant your user access to resources, including Lambda functions or your own API. You can also use groups in a user pool to control permissions with API Gateways by mapping group membership to AWS Identity Access Management role. These groups that a user is member of are included in the ID tokens that a user pool provides when your application user signs in. Compromised credentials. The compromised credentials feature protects your user's account by preventing them from reusing credentials, a username or password pair, that have been exposed elsewhere. This feature addresses the issue of users reusing the same credentials for multiple websites and applications. Email and phone validation. With Amazon Cognito Identity, you can require users' email addresses, phone numbers to verify prior to providing them access to your application, which is quite good, and we see them quite often. We do that in many applications. It's good to validate because sometimes if it's something important like I think my QuickBooks, my accounting application once didn't validate my email and they were charging, and I had two accounts. One was in UK, one was in the US. And because they didn't receive a confirmation email from me, but my email, I typed my email wrong. There was a letter wrong I typed, I think. And they didn't validate my email and they were charging me. But I didn't think I was mistakenly subscribed to the USA version. And then I wanted to cancel, but it wasn't canceling. And I was getting charged twice, which is important to validate email and phone. With adaptive authentication, you can configure your user pool to block suspicious sign-ins or require multi-factor authentication. In response to an increased risk, the sign-in request to be from a compromised source. This risk score is based on. Sorry, I missed a line. Increases risk level for each sign-in attempt. Amazon Cognito generates a risk score for how likely the sign-in request is to be from a compromised source. This risk score is based on many factors, including whether it detects a new device, user location, or IP address. For each risk level, you can choose from following options. Choose each information icon to learn more about the column heading. Allow. The sign-in attempt is allowed without an additional factor. Optimal. Users who have MFA configured are required to complete the second factor challenge in a sign-in. Users who do not have MFA configured are allowed to sign in without an additional factor. Required MFA. Users who have MFA configured are required to complete the second factor challenge to sign in. Users who do not have MFA configured are blocked from signing in. Block as sign-in attempts are blocked for a selected risk level and levels above the selected risk level. Notify users. Users are notified a risk for a risk level that is detected. Selected. Sign-in history. You can choose user Amazon Cognito console to see sign-in history for that user. Amazon Cognito retains 2 years of user event history. Each sign-in event has an ID, context data such as location, device details, and risk detection results. associated with it. With Amazon Cognito, you can trace and use a token within your system to particular authentication event. Review this example report. What are the benefits of Amazon Cognito? What are the benefits of Amazon Cognito? It's fully managed service, it's simple to set up, and does not include standing up server infrastructure. Amazon Cognito is HIPAA eligible and compliant with all these standards. With Amazon Cognito, users can sign in through social identity providers such as Google, Facebook, Amazon, and through enterprise identity providers such as Microsoft Active Directory via SAML. Choose each supported profile info. Amazon Cognito Identity supports two methods of collecting user profile information. For example, developers can use either standard OIDC-based user profile attributes such as username, phone number, address, time zone, etc., or customized to add application-specific user attributes. Sign-in out options. With Amazon Cognito, an application user can sign up and sign in with either email address or phone number. You can do this by using aliasing feature. This feature gives users option to sign up and sign in with an email address and a password, phone number, and a password. Password policies. Amazon Cognito gives you flexibility when setting up a password policies. You can set up password policies such as strangle password, a character type. This is such a pain sometimes. If they put it so strict, it's hard to remember. Amazon Cognito Identity supports SMS-based MFA. You can enable the MFA users. You can enable the end users for your application to sign in with SMS-based MFA. With SMS-based MFA enabled, your users will be prompted to their password, the first factor that they know, and for security code that can be received only on their mobile phone via SMS. Customizable sign-in. Amazon Cognito lets you customize sign up and sign in by adding application-specific logistics to the user sign up and sign in flows using Lambda. For example, you can create Lambda functions to identity fraud or perform additional validation on user data. You are able to identify and initiate developer-provided Lambda functions at pre-registration, at post-configuration, and pre-authentication. During authentication, to customize the challenges, and at post-authentication, you can use Lambda functions to customize messages sent as part of email or phone number verification and MFA. Supported platforms. Support for Amazon Cognito is included in the optional AWS Mobile SDK, which is available for iOS, Android, Unity, and Kindle Fire. Amazon Cognito is also available in the Amazon SDK for JavaScript. Amazon Cognito your user pool is currently supported in the AWS Mobile SDKs for iOS, Android, in this JavaScript Amazon AWS SDK for Cognito. Amazon Cognito exposes its control and data IPs as web services in situations where you do not want to use the SDK mobile SDK. You can implement your own client library by calling the server-side API directly. How is Amazon Cognito used to architect a cloud solution? Security terminology. Security tokens are software tools that give an IT administrator the ability to grant trusted user temporary and limited access credential to AWS cloud resources. These tokens are written in JavaScript object notation and are called JSONs, web tokens, JSON. For example, when you sign in by using a user pool, Amazon Cognito gives you three JSON Web JVTs. These tokens are passed along to authorize access to application resources, identity tokens, access tokens, refresh tokens. Architecting the Amazon Cognito. Developers can easily architect using Amazon Cognito Identity to add sign up and sign in with their applications and to give their users' ability to securely access their application resources. With Amazon Cognito, developers can synchronize data across devices, platforms, and applications. On the following slides, you will review two examples of architectures using Amazon Cognito. One, user pull authentication with an API gateway, REST API, granting AMI permissions with Amazon Cognito identity pools. Okay. User pull authentication with API gateway, REST API. The client first authenticates with user pull. User pull authentication with API gateway. The client gets three GWTs in return: an identity token, an access token, and a refresh token. User pull authentication with API gateway REST API. The client then passes the ID and access tokens in the header as part of the call to API gateway. User pull authentication with API gateway REST API. API gateway validates the token. User pull authentication with API gateway REST API. API gateway invokes the resources that it's integrated with on the backend, for example, Lambda function. User pull authentication. Am I reading the same? The client then accesses AWS resources. That is nice. First authenticates with the user pull. Getting AMI permissions with Amazon Cognito identity pools. Now it's IAM permissions, sorry. Granting IAM permissions with Amazon Cognito identity pools. The client gets three GWTs in return: an identity token, an access token, and a refresh token. Then the client uses GWTs to respond to temporary AWS credentials. Amazon Cognito identity pools validate the ID token. Amazon Cognito returns temporary credentials. The client uses these credentials to sign in the payload and call the service API. The service checks the policy associated with the temporary credentials and follows the actions that the policy provides. The service returns the requested data to the client. What are the typical use cases for Amazon Cognito? Amazon Cognito use cases: authenticate with a user pool, access your server-side resources with a user pool, access AWS services with a user pool, and identity pool. The two main components of Amazon Cognito are user pools and identity pools. User pools are user directories that provide sign-up and sign-in options for your web and mobile application user. Identity pools provide AWS credentials to grant your user access to other AWS services. Review three use cases Amazon Cognito. For more information about these use cases, see scenarios. Come on, scenarios. What else should I keep in mind when using Amazon Cognito? Authenticated users versus unauthenticated users. Amazon Cognito identity pools support for both unauthenticated users only, authenticated users, and unauthenticated users. Identity pool supports both. Authenticated identities belong to users who are authenticated by any supported IDPs. Unauthenticated identities typically belong to guest users and gain access in the guest user pool. Then unauthenticated users can be merged into an authenticated user pools in a seamless transition. If you build your application to allow your authenticated users, then all users will need to create an account to use the website or app. They will immediately be identified based on the details they use. They created their account. And in this one, you can have a guest. Check out as guest. How much does Amazon Cognito cost? What is the cost structure for Amazon Cognito? Amazon Cognito pricing is pay-as-you-go with no upfront cost and no minimum fees. Pricing is based on monthly active users. A user is counted as a MAU if within a calendar month there is an identity operation related to that user. You are not charged to subsequent sessions for inactive users with that calendar month. The price per MAU after 50,000 is based on the region. The price per MAU decreases as the number of users increases. Free tier. The free tier is available for both existing and new AWS customers indefinitely. It does not automatically expire at the end of your 12-month AWS free tier term. The free tier includes the following: 50,000 MAUs for users who sign in directly to Amazon Cognito user pools, 50 MAUs for users federated through SAML2 based identity providers, which is very good for a startup. If you want to try it out, you don't have to pay, which is great, I think. How can I learn more about Amazon Cognito? These are the white papers and web pages. I like to learn by practicing, and I hope we will find a lab practice to do that. There is Introduction to AWS Security White Paper, Amazon Cognito Groups and Fine-Grained Role-Based Access Control, How to Integrate Third-Party IDP Using Developer Authentication Identities, Amazon Cognito Documentation, Cognito Frequently Asked Questions, Best Practices and Security Identity Compliance. There is a knowledge check. Let's do that together. A developer has been asked to add sign-up and sign-in service to their application. Which Amazon Cognito feature should they use? Identity pool, user pool, access token. Is it? They've been asked to sign up, sign-in service. So it's not a pool yet. Let's submit. Correct. Oh, which statement about Amazon Cognito identity pool is true? With an identity pool, users can obtain temporary limited privilege MSA credentials to access other MSA. Identity pools replace the need for third-party identity. By using Amazon Cognito identity pool, a user would not also use Cognito user pools. Identity pools provide sign-up and sign-in functionality for mobile apps. Okay, so it's identity pool. Incorrect again. A developer plans to use Amazon Cognito user pools with Amazon API Gateway. Which step is part of user pool authentication flow with API Gateway? A mobile app sends a request to API Gateway, and API Gateway gets JSON web tokens from the user pool. A mobile app user authenticates with user pool, and the user pool returns JSON web tokens to the app. The user pool validates the tokens against identity pool. API Gateway. The user pool validates. Amazon Cognito invokes the API after successfully validating the permissions. A mobile app sends a request to API gateway, and API gateway gets JSON tokens. No. A mobile app user pull and pull. Not sure. App user attend user pull and the user pull return JSON users. Not sure. So confused. Okay, I failed all the questions of the knowledge check. I will see you in my next video. Bye.